Yes, I've got it in the cage!
Alright, old boy, sick boy.
Still can't look at you after Sunday night.
A wee bit rough.
I know.
Just fear it.
Top form you were.
Thanks, mate. So are you.
You two were outstanding.
They two were outstanding.
You two were
He went to
unbelievable.
the dark side, didn't he?
What do you mean?
Oh, fuck. He was like to me, he says, no, don't be booting it on
You just fucked
on
it.
the fans. And then that space opera just go to it, didn't it? He just volleyed it out there. See the best
near
one?
the end though,
I was telling him, the best one, you go me, I had to brace for it. Remember, the dart. He took the hanger.
I
just went, right, I've got to take this.
Oh no, I heard the story.
So did you think there was an actual hang in it?
So I braced for it. I braced to take it right in. Good stuff. It's a good one. I liked it.
So you followed that him and you've kicked the space hopper doing Kev's move?
No. I flung the end of the dart. No the sharp bit. Just
One of the best shows we've ever done, I think.
Oh, nice you to turn up for this one.
No, the live
No,
show.
but I'm saying the one on fucking Monday when you're all up this
I had that one. Had the
rough.
feet.
You weren't off on Monday. You left about 1 o'clock.
Smoke bomb, didn't I?
What time do you leave at? Right after the game?
Right after the game. I was too emotional with that game. I was
shocked.
Was it almost like a mirror image of when you...
His boy won the World Cup, didn't he?
You thought, can I get a flight to Buenos Aires? How quick can I get there to join in the celebration?
It was so close for that.
He was typing in red light district Argentina, wasn't he? But his boy won the World Cup, didn't he, Alexis McAllister?
He was outstanding, that boy.
The boy was good. Must be proud of your boy.
You smoke bombed it on me,
No,
didn't
I've
you?
got a trap door, so I just disappear down by the way. When it starts to get a bit unruly, you know, I can't keep up with you guys. I'm an old man.
You can't keep up, mate.
I can.
Yeah, you're an animal, man.
Did you know?
Aye.
That's what it was.
So, the trap door for me is perfect. I just let you young ones use.
You enjoyed that fag? I'm happy that I got a fag with you.
Aye, I know. And I know never
pressure.
even
The Italian
gave
chat.
You're the oldest, most experienced peer pressure that everyone didn't you?
You didn't want that,
I didn't know, because it was what I sit and watch the football.
Oh, was that during the game?
Aye. I can't even remember.
You didn't care about the game.
Oh, I couldn't even tell you what the goals looked like in the World Cup final. I was on here, Monday, what a game, fucking goals are brilliant. Can't remember a minute.
So, I don't know who the lighter is.
Have you got the lighter?
Aye, it's in the house.
You've been lighting your face.
I'll be lighting.
Thank you, somebody gave us a lift in the taxi at the road.
Brilliant. Great
All the way to
gesture.
Straven, they paid for it as well. But
Have they paid for
man of
it?
the people, he bought everyone, I just remembered this, he bought everyone in Bull Lagoon a chippy.
No way. I mean, you love that. You always buy everybody drinks,
He
I know,
did.
mate.
Didn't
Was it the woman in front of us?
That's how
Behind
you
us,
ordered,
wasn't
by
it?
the way. You went against your chippy, I know. Is it sure? Still bad, that, innit?
No.
You bought somebody a chippy, I remember that.
That's nice.
He doesn't know what I say.
The guy that was...
No, you bought somebody, you bought another couple, you
What was
did.
the orders then?
I got orders, mate. I had a sausage supper Friday and Saturday night. I hate myself.
You had curry at your fingers on Sunday morning.
Mate, did you curry all on my face, all on my jeans, everywhere?
That's not cheap, by the way. What's a fish supper? It's a tenner, isn't it? Easy.
I bought him his.
Right.
No, you paid for it actually.
Oh fuck no,
You paid for it.
You paid for Sundays, you did.
No,
Did you get curry sauce on your jeans?
That's disgusting, that when you wake up.
the
innit?
worst.
I'm trying to think of anything else that happened in the live show. You were outstanding, by the
you
way.
opened the table.
Oh, the tables,
that was different.
That was iconic.
How high is that stage?
I nearly broke my knee when I jumped down.
Near the point, when are you getting your tattoo? This is happening. I
that's
think I
I know,
forgot.
so I'm definitely going to do the few days I had to discuss where I'm going to get it on my body and what tattoo. I think I'm going to get the one where he first kisses the cup. When Messi first meets the World Cup. It's no actually when he picks it up. It's when he's going to get his award and everybody, the world stopped when he's first.
Why don't you get that as the World Cup and then him at the side kissing her?
It's not that thing.
That'd be amazing, mate.
I know, but imagine people ask you to see it. It's
He's going to ask you to see that.
No, that's what I'm saying. But that's no big enough to
Get glasses on.
People actually see it.
His hands would like huge holding that. His hands would like huge holding that thing, man.
So I just need to get a placement again. I think
The Cubs is going to take it, ended up coming out with
I
Sunday.
messaged him saying, listen, I will do it. I'll give me a couple of days to figure out what I'm going to do. I just don't know where to get it. I don't want
Could you
it
please, would you tattoo him, Derek?
Oh, get in your neck. Get it in there.
I think you should just get the World Cup with 3 stars.
Think so? No. As if I won it. So we'll sit and have a wee plan where's the best to get
Can I
it.
speak to the the main man, Cup.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
No, it's going to get done on a podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Very good show.
Yeah. Would you get a tattoo, Derek? Would you get a tattoo? I think you should get Thug Life for Exorcist, innit? Thug Life, would you get that?
Let me think about it.
Big man's about $1,000 for a day. Try and get a tattoo.
Why don't we all get one then?
I'll give him a full day up.
Thug Life.
A guy that does an advent calendars, eh? I'm a pure madman.
Get one of the Christmas elves.
I've got mate, just so, because I think people are quite dubious that we maybe tell a couple of white lies on this show, but
Once we do.
Carol Ferguson did message us.
Send that to you.
Send that to us.
naughty.
But you've destroyed that there, by the way.
That's get out of jail card for me.
That's the elf on the shelf.
Oh, boy.
What's anything else in a live show that happened?
No, I think that was it.
No, it wasn't.
It was good.
It's one of the best we've had.
Had all the messages for the people there to the real.
You were outstanding. By the way, your stories was absolutely amazing, because we done the month before we done the stories and it didn't quite work for whatever reason. The crowd weren't there as much, but your stories took right after, didn't they?
I think the buzzwords and that, and everyone, Stephen, that made it good. I think when he
You must have downed about
fucking 5 minutes, but within the first 10 minutes, mate.
But then
I
somebody
said big dunk.
It should be shorts, shouldn't it?
I'm happier for life, mate.
Mate, he said one bit and then everybody cheered and then you thought it was you and you downed that and all.
I was confused.
Me and Andy were looking at each other, that was he did.
I was confused.
Your story was outstanding and all, mate, wasn't it?
No, I like
Oh, that story goes down.
That's the best story. See,
After dinner story of all
the way
time,
you
mate.
tell it, I know, is outstanding, wasn't
at the toast. Aye.
it? Tell it.
No.
Keep that for live shows.
Even though I knew his stories for the Gravison, I was in
I
tears,
hadn't
man.
heard, I don't know, I'd heard him before.
okay.
The big dunk one in the Gravison, amazing.
Any other
Who's
one?
that lad, John Anarisa?
You were telling right now, you said the boy for the scheme, Marvin for the scheme. Where's Philip? Everybody was silent at him. Everybody like, that's your dog.
Some of them get raging, but you've got to watch.
I was going to get Leonard, man.
I got to watch. He's getting a filter. He's looking about going right, who's the lookalikes? He's getting it.
Right, go on their spot.
Double the odds side for new sets with your first £10 bet. Sign up at gsport.com/open.
Is that a new Christmas offer?
Incredible.
This is the new one, just came out Friday, aye. So, how have you been feeling though, just the last few days?
I'm not feeling well.
I'm not feeling good, lads.
I'm
No.
feeling a bit rough,
London,
I'm a bit worried.
Oh, you
Well, Crimble, aye. So, but you're saying your missus, it was only a day or two?
Dare to.
Hopefully that'll be me, aye. So, aye. Paracetamol out my nut. See, I'm spaced out.
You're gone.
I'm on.
Struggling.
Aye,
Where are you
I'm
going for Christmas, your house?
Aye, Lewis is here. She's here tomorrow night.
Oh, is he back here?
So it'll be good to get the boys in the house together. Looking forward to that. Christmas Day.
That'll be
Is one of two
Slaughtered me anyway.
Has everybody got their fridges full now?
Hanging up tomorrow.
Where for?
Smarts and Sparks.
That's
aye.
a fortune. Me and my mum went down there the other day and she was like, mate, out of here. It's a fortune in there. Straight to Lido, man.
No, you've got.
it?
She's went and got the turkey ham out. Some of the packs of turkey ham.
Let's go in the fridge.
Slices of turkey ham. He'll go. Yeah, I think he'll go Waitrose or something.
Well, no, Mark's because Mark's out. Remember the
No, I didn't advert.
She's got it on.
Have you? Did you do the cooking?
He
or is
cooks,
it-
aye.
Do you, mate? So
telling
you
us
do,
that,
aye. Oh, so you're all set?
You doing it?
I do the cooking in my house.
Do you?
What do you do there when you wake up Christmas morning?
Absolutely nothing.
Get my suit.
Aye, you can tell.
Suit mate on Christmas Eve.
What do you mean? Oh, your
make
suit?
suit.
So it's better the next day.
That's a shift.
And then
That is a shift.
Did you get the lobster and prawn cocktail for Mark's for a starter? I can't wait for it, mate.
Good.
Big sourdough for Sweet Jane with the prawn and the lobster with the Mary sauce. Oh,
keep moaning that you've got no money.
I know.
I know. That's been absolutely mental.
that's it.
You're on time. You're always moaning.
It's a bit much if I boy for Dundee or that recipe.
I know my ma would be. She'd be.
Aye, that's a fry up in the
She'd
Jerry
just
household, isn't it?
turkey. We go fucking full hog, mate.
I don't even bother about food.
Just the booze, mate.
I just get scooped early doors, don't I?
You've got the booze in the fridge, you know, waiting.
I'm
What will you
adding
drink?
to it. Adding to it. Oh, in the morning, it'll be...
A Baileys.
Bailey's, no, Bailey's is last night.
Last thing.
orders.
Aye, Bailey's last night.
Is that a thing,
That'll
Baileys?
be your probably last night of Bailey's.
Is it?
Aye. My the big fella, big Kev says the other day about the putting a gin in it.
No, gin in the Prosecco he puts.
Aye.
I've heard that.
Right, because I was saying that to my
I'll get you
mother-in-law the
fucking
other-
flying, mate.
I know, so I'm maybe give that a wee go.
We've not asked him, he's asked you your Christmas dinner.
I don't think he
What's
was.
your starter? Soup
Soup,
and
prawn
then
cocktail, turkey with all the gear. Loads
Did
of
you get a choice?
chipolatas.
we do turkey and ham, do you know?
No, I would, but
Need to touch his ham.
no, it's just
ham.
it's a lot.
It's lovely
innit?
to ham, aye.
They eat a lot, It's a bit much, haven't
When are
it?
you cooking for?
Just 6.
Just
No, I cook for 6 every night. I'll get 4 wins.
That's right. See, when my missus goes away, I've got to look after my boys. I mean, that's hard work, man.
No, I like
So
it.
it is. I'm good at heating up things, not making it.
No, I like cooking.
In the oven.
I don't mind cooking.
Aye.
Do you know? You
I like cooking, a wee risotto.
Chicken, beans and mash. That's it.
Did you see the dinner somebody had on my Instagram story the night that we were watching Up and Go?
No.
8 bits of toast and the fucking beans and sausages you get in a tin.
And Marcus.
What a hero. Who was that?
Don't know, Gaz.
Is that Gaz's brother-in-law?
I think so, mate. Aye.
What is that?
I think so.
He's about 35, mate. That's what he's saying about his dad.
Lovely that, though, innit?
Hero.
I'm doing that.
That is a treat. That's, you're the same as my dad. My dad would be the same as you.
That's class.
He would take 3-pot noodles for his dinner.
Aye.
If my mum wasn't in the house.
And they're happy, boys are always happy. Carol makes all different things and all that. Like, try to be kind of different. Varying it all the time. There you go. Chicken, beans and mash. Wow.
Chicken beans.
Chicken, beans and mash, that's it. Good protein.
What's your dessert again? Sorry, I know we're going on a bit, but
That's the reason of a pre-match every time he's
I was portable that minute. Chicken.
carries away. Oh no, pre-match again. Look at against Faddy.
Pre-match, that's unreal.
Honestly, when she's away, that's all they get.
Says no, dessert for me is we're having pavlova. I would take cheese and crackers.
Ah, you like your cheese, don't you?
Aye. Apple crumble. My wee boy loves apple crumble.
apple crumble, yeah.
And we'll have cheese and that later.
Yeah, a wee cheese board, aye, that's in the red wine will come.
Maybe chili jam or the
Aye, that's
onion
chili jam,
chutney.
yeah,
Oh,
chutney, aye.
aye. Look, it's lost on him. Look.
Sticky toffee.
What's your, no, you had Crunch Corner, didn't you? We lost Crunch Corner. Go get yourself a yogurt for chocolate mousse.
4 yogurts.
Angel delight he is. Just a big bowl himself.
What soup do you say? Heinz tomato in it.
Oh, it's just tins, I think that is. Definitely a tin. Need these cooking up for sure, but I'm looking forward to it. It's nice time, innit?
What is your dessert, seriously?
I think we go sticky toffee, but I can't remember us ever having a dessert, but like Christmas.
No,
Mate,
Christmas pudding.
no,
fuck
raisins
Christmas
in that and that
pudding,
currants in that. I don't get that.
hate Christmas pudding, you know?
I've never
Mince pie is the same shite. No.
Oh,
I like a mince pie. Oh,
It is.
Yes, aye, mince pie.
What is the
for
stuff
me.
inside it, but
It's like, what is it? Meat?
See one of the best mince pies you'll get out of Costco.
Is it?
The big guy. Big fellas. Seen them?
No.
Oh, aye. Tremendous. That's about you.
What do you hate mince
If you
pie?
want to go posh, get a bit of custard on it.
Aye, that's what I was going to say. Do you hate anything on it or do you just eat it dry?
Just
bang
dry
it
cup
in
of
2
tea.
bites.
Do you?
just swallow hold.
Cup of tea, mince pie.
Straight in,
If you want to be posh, go the...
Do you do a celly box during the day as well?
The what?
Celebration box?
Oh, aye, they'll be...
What, before you're done
Aye, as soon as you go, you can eat do what you want.
It's Christmas.
That's how
really
you get away
jammies?
with murder. With the missus, you just walk in, you're half scooped. She's not going to give you any trouble.
Do you wear the pyjamas?
it? He goes with the pyjamas with the banger at the pyjamas.
Oh, aye,
Do you have the jammies on? Do you just get dressed up?
Pajamas on. He puts pajamas on.
He doesn't get dressed up Christmas Day. I put my bed.
like jammies.
I get the outfit for Christmas Day.
My dad came into my house one time with a suit on. We were all looking at him like that. We were on our jammies and that. What are you doing? He's sitting at the table with a full suit on. And we all on jammies. Tag on that bit. Too long. But I was, because he obviously was in my grandson and he came here.
Gravy or the sleeve, man.
The full suit on. But
Oh,
what's he
Christmas
doing?
jumper for me. Christmas Day.
Do you go Christmas jumper?
That's good. I like that.
Party hat.
Aye.
I'd be.
I like jammies, I'm on
It's
it.
not coming.
I like
It's all
jammies.
day. I can see why.
That barnet. Bit like old barnet.
I like jammies. I like a pair of
You sit in your
jammies.
jam.
A fresh pair you've got for Christmas.
I've got a christening on Christmas Day.
That's fucking
My
terrible.
brother-in-law coming back.
That's
from
a
Denmark.
scandal, your brother-in-law doing
It's
that.
the only time we could get it, where everybody can be there. It's a great day for it, isn't it?
Aye.
The day where all the family gets together.
You know what Unboxing Day?
Aye. But be alright.
Fine for you, mate. Pro on it. What do you wear Christmas Day? Sorry, last thing before we go
So I'm
to
seeing if there's any, hopefully, a new pair of jammies will be kicking about and I'll get them on.
He jumps about in the...
with the brogues, jammies with a pair of brogues on.
And the brown
He wears the slips. He wears the slips.
Slips and brogues.
He's desperate for pre-match
It's a
on
day,
Christmas Day.
it's a day you can get away with anything. Right, because they're always on your back and all that. It's a day you just do what you want. So,
Nobody's on your back.
No,
as soon as it hits 12:05,
Well, that's when it
Christmas Day,
starts.
I'm up. I'm right done. I'm going for it.
But at night,
What, at night?
After midnight, you got a whole day to go.
Just sit on the couch and fall.
8 hours waiting for a day to get up. Sorry, just before we go into football, what time do the kids get up at?
Oh, mine's are 5:30, 6.
Do they?
Nah. Jude, my youngest mate, I've never seen somebody so excited in their life.
That's amazing.
That's the best, mate, honestly. I done free sleep some.
Wake them up.
Tell you to wake them up? Are they past it?
Love sleeping. No, they just love sleeping. The two girls especially.
You're buzzing,
my youngest mate, she might be buzzing.
What age are they, Faddy?
16, 14, 12 and 10.
Right, I'll need to get mine up. 26 and 28.
What about the granddaughter? Does she come round?
Hopefully, later on, or maybe she's certainly coming round Boxing Day. But Lake will be there.
Who's that? Lewis's?
Lewis's daughter. So
brilliant.
So that'll be great as well. Obviously, she doesn't know anything about it, but I love
she doesn't know the pain she's in for.
That will never happen again. I've learnt my lesson. I didn't know it meant so much to people. Even my boys were caning me for it. Fell out with me.
How did you go about it? I want to ask you, how did you go about it? Did you open each window individually, or did you rip the front?
See the Galaxy one? There was a big bit at the top. I just went straight for that. And the big bar at the top, the shades on Christmas Day. You are a sick bastard.
That's evil, by the way.
And so the Galaxy one was better, but then it's actually the second night. So I'd done, it was over a period of 2 nights. so the Galaxy one get done first, I get into trouble. They fell out of me, and then I had a few next day, and then I thought, my bellies, I went, I'm going for it again. Guys, used to get into trouble, innit?
Did you feel bad the next day when you woke up?
A wee bit. Aye.
Carol said that you took the chocolate and then you farted in each one and closed it back over. So when she was opening it up.
I can't believe she sent you a photo.
Wasn't it just that? She sent us photos. It's not the first time she sent us a photo, young man. Right, come on.
Can talk about Christmas.
What time is it? Aberdeen Rangers, we're going to start with scenes in the dying minutes. Could you believe what you were seeing?
I seen
you
it
were there live, weren't you?
I seen it coming, honestly.
For what minute did you see it coming?
They had a chance. They were getting pegged back. Connor Goldson, who was absolutely gubbed, he couldn't move, was running forward. A ball came to the left back area, and I think it was McKenzie, the chance to maybe just run it up the line or play it up the line. But it goes for a panicky diagonal, and then they don't squeeze. And I'm thinking,
just
just waiting for this goal to be scored. And then when the second goal goes in, you think, they'll go and win it now. And Scott Arfield, when he comes on, he always gets a chance. Always. He doesn't gear up. He makes the same runs, whether he takes a chance or no. He puts himself in an area to go and score goals, and you could just see it coming for that point. I think it's a tough one because Aberdeen obviously played well.
Why do you think that happens? Why do you drop so deep? Tiredness? Were they doing that the full game? Because we were training, so I only got in and seen basically seen injury time.
I think tiredness, having something to hold on to. Been in a position of winning the game, they probably think, right,
I think if you've done something so well the full game,
a draw, but they're saying, right, if we can defend well here, the least we come away with here is a point, and they come away with none. You see Jimmy after the game, he was absolutely deflated, wasn't he?
But then they didn't learn though, because Arfield could have scored two big chances before he went and scored.
Aye. So he wasn't.
Did you see it coming from a Rangers point of view? Did you think we were going to score here?
I thought, with about 5 minutes to go, I thought no, I honestly, and you're kind of watching it and getting a wee bit. This is for me a bit angry because, for 25 minutes of that game, they started really well, were cruising, and then they went through a wee period, 5-10 minutes, where it became a bit scrappy, and it's as if they get nervous. And then they never quite recovered into the second half. Obviously Aberdeen score just before half time, and then you're expecting a reaction, and it went the other way, as if they couldn't handle it. Aberdeen get a lift for that. But in terms of the game, the possession, Rangers had loads of the ball, but they were poor with it. So they were. Goldson you're talking about, so I thought Goldson, for being out for so long, I thought he'd done well, but he was trying to force things. You could see him trying to make something happen.
Half, didn't he? Was a bit
kept passing
and he was knackered as well. But the introduction at Arfield, and I tell you what, and I'd say I tip my cap to him, because a lot of Rangers supporters were going, why did you give him another year's contract? Well, there's why. It's not just because of the goals. It's his mentality as he comes off the bench. I've said it before, never spits a dummy. There was a wee example of that, and I think guys can learn from, because the boy Tillman, he's a good player, but in the second half, I think he'd done it a couple of times, Faddy. I don't know if you noticed it during the game. He's made a good run. Now, a run like Arfield would make, doesn't he get the ball? and his first reaction is the horn's got him there, and he kind of chops it. If Arfield makes that run, one thing he goes, right, where can I go again?
Where can I go next?
You know, and I was obviously delighted that he got the 2 goals, but some of the boys in there got to look at him.
Aye, 100%.
You know, and even for the fact that at times where he will make a mistake, he's that way, but he doesn't care.
He's trying to have an impact. He's trying to be what his role is at that point. When you're named, the team's named and you're known the starting lineup, of course you're fuming, but you want to come on and try and do something. Arfield does. Even his just his habits, how he's learned how to play the game. Like how sharp he is when it's a pass, how firm the pass is. That one you're saying where he makes a move, it's not only goes again. The second goal, he makes a move to the back. He's not going, it never came to me. He's like, right, can I get it again? And he goes and scores the winner. I just think that changed the game for Rangers because Aberdeen, getting the goal was was late in the first half with a free kick, gave them a lift. They came out, they were better, they kept the ball, they got higher up the pitch. And the goal they scored, alright, there was a slice of fortune, but great finish, great build-up play, and then you think they're in control of the game, but they make the changes, they sit back, and I think when you're doing that,
even we think so. See the second goal, I think Kent's got the guy squared up. Last thing you want to do is show him inside the pitch to get a shot at goal. Force him wide now, and then go and defend across there. Or is that hard to do?
Well, it's the time of the game. It's late. You're probably tired. You're thinking, just try and stop him. I don't know even if that comes into your mind to show him a certain way. But Kent again coming looking sharp. Tillman, you spoke about that. Like a lot of time, I think he looks as if he wants to play at his pace. He wants to take a touch and take an extra touch and roll somebody, and everything else happens round about him. He was flying back, helping out in the defence, showing great energy and willingness to get forward.
It's maybe it just caught my eye because there was one and it just caught right away. I'm going, go again. You know what I mean? You're chasing the game, you know. So don't feel sorry for yourself. But I just love his attitude. But they were tired. Aberdeen. That's how Jim brought on the 3 boys with the legs, bit of pace. Not they needed energy from somewhere because they were up against it. So they were. For them, even though they were better in the centre, it was always going to come. You know, and it was like wave after wave of attack. But they weren't very good with it, Rangers, you know.
I hated Bill's reaction. When they won. They scored the 3rd goal. Shaking his head.
Was he?
I didn't like that. I wanted to see him running right down where the rest of the players gone mental. It seemed as if, though, maybe because he didn't play that well, but I wanted to see him. I don't know, I couldn't understand it. You've just scored 2 late goals and he's shaking his head about it. He's trying to bring
persona,
the standards that he's happy with, his style. He's obviously unhappy with the performance. And he's not going to get carried away because of winning the game and say, look, well, you heard him after the game, there's work to be done now. There's a lot of work to be done.
What is the work that he's done? What is it, the style of play that he's worked on? Because the character's obviously there.
I think there's certain players that, in his players back, the boy Sands was poor, you know, and he done all right initially playing at centre back, but he's kind of ran out of steam a wee bit. He looks a nervous wreck playing there, didn't he?
No,
didn't he? At times in the middle of the park. Kamara was good and Jack for 25 minutes. Then they just started to kind of, I don't know, you would expect them with the experience they have got, you know, even if they're going through a wee dodgy period, what's you doing again? To kind of get a grip of the game again and have that mentality and keep at it. But they just lost their way. They weren't playing that way. With Kamara, there's something no right with Kamara. You know, obviously Bill loves him, but he doesn't look a happy chappy to me. Boy Sands as well. And Morelos, and I know Boydie, because I was listening, he was scathing Morelos, and I think quite rightly so.
Was he?
Aye, because you see the one that the keeper palms it, you know, and you're thinking centre forward, a sharp centre forward that's thinking, that's at it, focused, fit, flies in there. He's laboured, he's nowhere near it. So he's way off it, by the way.
I think with Morelos,
way off it.
See when you're at the game, you see the runs that he makes, and a lot of them, like, he's trying to overlap the wide man, and he's taking himself out of the box, and sometimes when you're listening to he's not fit, he can't contribute. Is he in his mind? Is he thinking, right, if I make that run, it looks like I'm being busy?
I'm better. I get what you're saying. Right, overthinking it.
I'm not as fit as I should be. I need to get fitter. Play within the width of
And make wee runs within the
Stay
posts.
there.
Yeah, down the side
And
of people.
don't go chasing it. Don't go looking for a touch. Don't go, making stupid runs to show everybody that you're trying. Stay where you are. Play as a striker. Try and get the service up to you. Fight with the centre backs. Anything drops, you're the man to go and get it. And maybe that is, but for sure, before the game, they showed a wee clip of the goals in the previous games, and Morelos scored, and the difference in how he looks is incredible. So it's somebody that they have to get fit. And you talk about what is it he's trying to do. They can't keep going 2-1 down. Oh, it's all right. We'll show great character. It'll only last for so long. You need to be controlling games, and I know they possession, but were they in control of the game? I don't think so. So that's what he'll be looking for, to try and control it. When you get yourself in a winning position, can you go and extend it? Can you then have control and decide how the team come and try and press you or try and hurt you, so that then you can hit them again on the break? But as Derek says, I think they need to get some players back.
See if Cholak was fit, Jink, he'd be playing.
Should be.
No, but do you think he would be under Bale, or Jink, it would be Morelos?
I think he spoke about playing with the two strikers. He played kind of.
Sakala played up there as well.
You could see him
a
urging.
diamond he played?
He wanted two up towards the end. I don't know if it was Tillman he was urging. But it was hard to tell.
It's like the 4-2-2-2.
It's like a four box type.
They're in quite narrow, which I like, because when Kent goes out to the wide areas, I think he gets drawn to the ball too much. He wants to come deep and get a touch, and then before you know it, he's having to beat 3 players. But when he's in that position, as the game moves, he's in positions to go and pick it up and maybe get by one guy and get a shot, or play the pass. And if they get everybody fit and are fitter and back, then it can have an impact. But there's conceding goals.
But the character they have shown is brilliant though, innit? The last 2 games, behind twice, and then especially scoring 2 late
It's like
goals.
Easter Road and Pataudry. It's not like they're doing it at Ibrox.
And then
no, that was Ibrox.
What was?
no, the first game, Pataudry, you're right, but
Pataudry.
and then, but even at Ibrox, the crowd, I mean, the pressure they can put you when you're 2-1 behind, to come back and performance, and then Pataudry 2 goals in 90 minutes. Now that's why I was a bit. I know I've said that as well. I was a bit disappointed with Bill. We know the performance wasn't great, but to show that character, he come back, because we've gave Celtic a hell of a lot of credit for them playing right to the final whistle. So when Rangers have done it, that's where I wanted Bill to go. That's us ready to go.
I didn't see that. I didn't notice that. Maybe because that.
But I know, I do get it.
You've seen Ange score in the last minute and he just stands.
That might just be style, but if he does that and goes like over the top, people are going to say, well,
you happy with that?
Aye.
What would you do?
I'd have run down the players.
I'd have been in with the punters and have it, wouldn't you?
I thought it was the right time, just with the way they done. I get the performance.
That's why we are sitting here.
Exactly. They got Ross County Friday night. If they goes up that, they're off to a flyer, 3 wins in a row. Tough fixtures.
Aye.
Do you fancy them up at Ross County?
I do.
Aye. Basically because they've obviously lost the last game against St John's. You would have fancied them. County after the break, kind of reorganise and get themselves going. But I'm surprised they've struggled this season, Ross County. But no, I do fancy Rangers now, because they've shown that you are talking about that character. They've got 90 minutes under Golson. Davies looks as if he could come back in there. Yeah. So you're then Barisic should be back, shouldn't he?
I think they're saying Barisic was going to be back. Seen that today.
I know Barisic
done great again, didn't he?
He's done okay. It's not my cup of tea, but then Barisic, I've said that before. But you could see him, the way Beale spoke. He wants that settled back 4 in there, and then the middle of the part will be interesting. Does he give Arfield his opportunity to start?
Well, even with the 2, with Jack, Kamara and Lundstrom, who would you go with the 2? But 2 at the 3.
I think he spoke about it before the game about goal. I know you're talking about midfield, but just the team in general and the shape they're in. We talk about trying to get everybody back fit. It's a 3rd game in a week. He spoke about no playing Davis and Goldson in case, because they've not played a lot, in case one of them breaks down or it's too much for them, because they've got this game against Ross County. So I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a few changes to freshen it up, to bring legs in, because to ask them to go again, and I know they've got positive results, but listening to him after the game saying 10 out of 10 for result, 5 out of 10 for performance, there's going to be a meeting to say, look, this needs to be better, that needs to be better. So to say the performance was a 5 out of 10 and no have changes, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah. Because that's the thing because obviously the guys are waiting on the side, they're waiting on their opportunity. although we've won the game, Faddy's saying they've not produced what he's wanting.
But you're saying putting Arfield, who do you take out because Tielemans and Kent are so important to how you play?
Because you couldn't put Arfield, could you? As
a back one, I don't think so.
No, it
has to be one of the two.
If you bring him in, it's to play as one of them, or do you put him up next to Sakala? No, as a striker.
Unless he changes his shape a wee bit.
Have a central one and have him kind of floating.
Unless he changes his shape a wee bit, get into it. It doesn't go with that 4-2-2-2. Maybe 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1.
Do you think he'll be the manager that will change his formations a lot, or will he try and get a formation and a style that he sticks to? Because under Van Bronckhorst, I thought they changed fucking hell a lot now.
I think they knew he'll change to get the players in that he wants within his system. He's trying to get the best out of them. He's trying to bring something different, a wee bit of freshness, and they'll have that for training anyway. But just their approach to games, how can we? You'll be saying to them, how can we get our best players on the park? How can we go and dominate games and score goals? And I think that as time goes on, he will probably try and set on a formation. But at the minute, it's, you talk about Cholak not being there, so he's gone Morelos, Sakala. How do you get the best out of Kent? You've got Tillman, what is his best position? And I think when Barisic is a great point, when he comes back, then it means that they've got the extra attackers, because I know he was going forward, but when you're cutting back and
you're right,
if you've got that opportunity just to put it in, then it's totally different. So I think once he gets his team, his squad, then he might look to make it more settled.
No, he keeps talking about style, doesn't he? The style of football he wants to play. It's an important thing. Win games of football.
I know, but how do you win, Derek? You need to have a style to win. You can't just make it up, because Van Bronckhorst was doing that and they were winning games.
But he wants to play, to me, like flamboyant and that's flair football. But until you've got, Faddy's saying as well, you've got your players in that you want, with the right mentality. I think there's still a few of them. There's question marks still for me with Kent, with Morelos and Kamara, because their heads been turned with whatever's going on, whether they've had opportunities to go, but now they're out of contract. Are they going to be there? We don't know all this, what goes on there. There might be somebody in touch with their agents and they start to look after themselves. We don't know all this, we're not privy to that. But until he gets his players in, that are going to play, I don't worry too much about style of football.
The style won't change for me. I think he'll implement a style and he'll have...
but I don't think people hate a style just because they think it's nice. I think people have a style because they believe that's the best way to get winning games of football.
Tillman and Kent, he's taught my style. He's let them off the leash. They've got a bit more freedom. Under Van Bronckhorst, they were kind of more rigid. They had to play in a kind of a wider area and stay in that role. They just have got freedom, and Kent thrives on that.
I think Kent's better central, do you know that?
Aye, he struggled a wee bit in the second half, but first half he was excellent. But
but see when he plays that central one, so he's coming in, I know he's made on the side, but see when you've played as a winger and right, these are the space I need to occupy, I need to beat my full back. You can come inside, but you need to hold your position, as you're saying with Van Bronckhorst. But when you come in as a number 10, you do have freedom. So it's not to say, right, I'm going to play in this box in the middle and I'm going to go on a half turn and I'm going to try and exploit these spaces. You look for where the space is.
Find the space, 100%.
Drift out wide, and probably easier to get yourself 1v1 in the wide area for number 10, because you can look and say, right, the fullback or the winger isn't doubling up because he's a number 10. So where's the midfielder? Is he coming in? And you then find the spaces to go and take people on. Just from my point of view, I found it easier to then go on and find space and occupy maybe a fullback, a centre back, a midfielder, where they go, right, he's got him, and he goes, no, he's got him, and then before you know it, nobody's got you, and you've got time and space to go and drive.
Brilliant, and that's why he's on Sky, innit?
That is why.
Who Rangers playing? I made my debut there 11 years ago for Celtic.
Ross County.
Unbelievable. And that
against Tockley.
You were unbelievable.
That was unbelievable. And it's the journey. It was a journey signing away home, knowing you became a Celtic player.
What did you say you went to Tockley?
Did you get that feeling?
To be pulled at the toilet. Did you get that?
What a feeling it was. No, honestly. No, hamshank. He's at it. What a feeling, but your phone's got...
He's lost.
But honestly...
And he had the programme in the toilet for ages, somebody said.
But honestly, what a feeling it was.
And you came out with it rolled up.
Lads, I remember getting him, not the family side. What a feeling. Faddy,
What do you mean you went him with the family? Did you go back in the bus?
No, but him in the bus, but the family with the motor was...
They followed the bus on the way back.
I didn't hit them.
Just tooting the horn the full way back.
Faddy, what was your longest bus journey?
Oh.
And was it down England, would it have been?
Oh, aye.
You fly everywhere in England, didn't they?
Fly.
At his level you do. We got a bus
what
from
about you,
fucking
aye?
Portsmouth to Hartlepool, mate.
That's Newcastle, about
I
Newcastle,
think it was
that,
like fucking 15 hours.
No
and
way.
got stuck in traffic and all sorts, mate. Brutal, man.
My longest...
Birmingham, we didn't though fly everywhere because you're in the Midlands. Probably one of the worst was Norwich.
Oh, Norwich is horrible to get to,
Where is
mate.
Norwich? Is that right down the bottom?
Norfolk. Next step switch, you know.
So how would that be, Faddy? How long would that be?
Over 4 hours maybe.
And what would you... What sort of... You're going into that bus, what's happening? People playing cards? Are you...
Aye, just
Who's your mate in that bus?
everybody.
Is it?
Just got me everybody.
Pierce Morgan there, wasn't it?
But aye, that was a Boxing Day game. So it wasn't as bad because you know you're not getting a lot of traffic. But the day before we were off, I get used to his Christmas Day off.
Hero.
Travel, Norwich away. It was Ipswich. Might have been Ipswich actually, not far away from each other. Well, they are, but same neck of the woods. That was Ipswich actually. Then we won the game, so he's like, make sure you do it right. Make sure you don't mess about. Gives a day off. It was always giving you the day off anyway.
What about you, bus journey? How long? Sunderland, you were, weren't you?
Portsmouth bus was brilliant.
Was it there?
Bus was bouncing, getting into Sunderland. So it was, that was some of my, didn't need to go out after it. It's a great night. So it was in the bus.
What would you be
We
doing?
stopped in London a lot of the time about like Portsmouth. And like, can I get the car goes back on a bus, and then we'd always stop at Whitby. We'd get fish and chips, and then we'd restock, and the bus was brilliant. Big Gary Bennett, now you're seeing everybody. Big Gary Bennett was my mate, by the way, at Sunderland, great lad. We had some great times, man. So we did
Bus
that.
journeys are good when you're
See,
one of
you
them.
went to Sunderland, everybody was up dancing in the aisle, so it was, and then you've got obviously the missus, all the wives all waiting you.
I thought you said you had them on the bus.
No, and they're all waiting on us, and we're all bouncing off, man. It was great. So it
Good
was
times,
Don
mate.
Goodman. No, Don.
striker.
Aye, he was a while
man. Aye.
Was he?
Oh,
Was it Motherwell when I was
at
at
Motherwell, aye. I had lost my
What do you
licence.
mean, a madman? Oh, sorry, you.
Aye, I lost my licence down in Sunderland. I was in a wee bad car crash, shall I say. It was my fault. So I had to, Don used to pick me up for a year, take me in and out of training. So he was a great lad. Good boys down there. So they were. Andy Melville, big Welsh boy, don't know if you remember that, Andy Melville. As well, Phil Gray, great boys, great bus, but we weren't the best team. We were, but by God, they could party.
Remember
when
the
was
show on
that?
Sky? We Don
was
Goodman
Was that would have
and
been
Steve Claridge, you phone in.
94, 90,
One of the worst.
94.
Ball in there.
Who?
Kevin Ball.
Oh,
What a guy.
by the way, what a guy.
He's a hard
That
bastard, isn't he?
Hard. By the way, he was a crackpot, by the way, so he was good play. Great as a captain.
Aye.
First day training, just doing a wee Toro and all that. Too fitted me. I was like that. What are you doing here?
Did you give him a bit back there?
Well, aye, but he liked it. But no, you wouldn't mess with ball.
That's what used to happen though.
Wasn't he the
get
biggest?
Aye.
Played centre back. Could play just in front of. Wasn't he the biggest? But hard as nails. So he
He's
was
a legend, isn't he?
Aye.
My
Aye,
dad
he is
got-
a legend.
rightly
He's
so.
been Inter manager a couple
My
of
dad
times.
got a pair of his boots when he was a wee boy for Christmas.
Who, Kevin Balls?
No, that's another ball you're thinking.
Alan Ball, when the front of the World Cup, stupid. It looks like you.
Very different. First play the well boots.
Michael Ball, singer.
Fancy wearing up and get his boots. What's I got to say there? Got to say a good one. See, when we played Stow Bucharest, we get the flight back from Motherwell. We get the flight back to London.
I thought you
And
said you got a bus for Mother off Stow Bucharest.
no, we got the bus for London to Motherwell.
Definitely got Kevin
Mate,
Ball.
11 hours, I'm
I
sure.
know.
It was the worst feeling in the world.
Who was that?
Ganso.
Gary?
Ganzo, aye, for London to...
Ganzo.
For London to...
Was that because you had to sit next to him?
He loved me,
On his knee the full way.
Good son.
He just sat on his knee the full way.
Aye, but it was a terrible story, wasn't it? But
that
that's
really
what it
rubbish?
I thought it was going to be a story.
No, that was it. That was it, just a
Brilliant.
bad journey.
You talking about Campbell hard guys, Jim Goodwin, he is a bit after that interview, the interview after that, I felt for him, he looked dreaded, didn't he, after
He likes to
that?
suck to him, wasn't it?
He need to pick himself up before he then picks the players up.
Aye, it's
Somebody's
gonna be tough, innit?
Sometimes you're looking for, is it Sharp, innit? He's assistant manager.
Assistant,
Would he have not been better? I don't know. I know he's
I don't think you want to know
but
David
when you're
Price
in
after
that state of
that.
mind,
Yeah.
when you're that gutted, do you want to be out there and facing the questions? I'm not so sure.
No, you
No,
don't.
you didn't, but you need to, didn't
Aye,
you?
I know it's part of the job, but
then you'd probably be a bigger backlash, particularly for Aberdeen fans if he doesn't come in.
Was he really
Oh
bad?
mate, God.
Aye.
The lowest you'll see a manager after a
He
game.
couldn't even lift his
He
seat.
said, I can't analyse the game right now.
That's sickening though, innit, man? Because what a result it would have been, do you know what I mean?
But listen, the players will be feeling the same. So he does need to pick himself up. But I think he'll find, analysing the game and will maybe help him. But they need to respond to that. Because they get slaughtered for their performance on Saturday and how they played. They were better Tuesday against Rangers, but they've lost the 2 games. So they need to pick themselves up because, looking at that senior manager, he'd be going, this is serious. It shouldn't. I mean, I'm not saying you accept defeat, absolutely not. But you need to even just put a face on and try and say, look, we need to defend better.
That's what I'm saying. Even to analyse a game like that after it, it's hard, man. I've been there when you blast a lot like last minute. Even just try to click play, it's fucking tough.
So you have to do it.
I know you need to do it. I know.
You need
That's
to do
horrible,
it.
isn't it?
But again, look, you focus on, the things they've done well, for the point where they look like they're camped in. You need to learn from that.
That we can't
you
ever
need
do
to
that
use
again.
it to say, look, we
Definitely.
don't do that. We still need to provide, an option up front. If we're going to be peppered, which can happen, can we get, for me, when you look at it, if you're sitting back, you've got a striker up the pitch, he needs to know where to be. He needs to be on the side of the ball so that you can be an
So that Goldson can't just keep stepping in as well.
Even just when you win it back, where can I go and affect it? Chase it down, get a throw in, get your team up the park, take the pressure off and allow you to go to get up the park. But he'll need to, I mean, you're talking about Bale not gone, crazy at celebration, and you want to see emotion. Jim Goodwin showing you tons of emotion, and people looking and going, it's unkind, but he's still devastated they've lost the game.
Yeah.
So
Play St Mirren away, don't they?
And I mean, 4 points behind St Mirren with a game in hand. Is it? I mean, I don't know if this is right to say, but is it getting to a wee bit of the stage with Jim Goodwin? This is a must-win against St Mirren.
No.
No, St Mirren are 4 points behind Aberdeen.
Aye. So if St Mirren, aye. So if St Mirren win, they go a point behind.
Is that what you said?
Aye. It's on a sheet here.
They'll get their tails up, but obviously because...
But it's not a must-win, is it?
No, it's not.
No, fuck. The third Aberdeen.
I know, just on a sheet.
No, it's not a must-win. Absolutely not. But they need to pick themselves up.
They were
They'll
better
be a
against
game, it'll be a
Rangers.
tough game.
And when it wasn't hard to be better.
They've got good players,
But it was disappointing when you watched them against Celtic. He's sitting as much as that, and it just shows you the other night against Rangers. Now, I'm not comparing Rangers Celtic at the minute. They've got good enough players. I know. But they've got. It just shows you the wee boy Clarkson's goal. Gets further up the park. Although it's a mistake for Sands, but it just shows you the quality he's got. And I think the players would have been a wee bit frustrated against Celtic. They weren't allowed to go and express themselves. They were, to a certain degree, against Rangers. They showed what they were all about.
The wee boy Clarkson reminds me of Levitt United. Am I wrong in saying that?
It's
a great shot.
It's similar, isn't it?
Well, strikes a lovely ball. He's scored a few beauties already.
Yeah.
What is the one against St Johnstone or?
See, I was going to say to you as well, because you were saying about the striker and you get yourself pinned back in. Jim Goodwin took them off with 7 minutes to go. He said they were dead on their feet. Can they not play another 7 minutes?
I think it was earlier than that, was it?
Somebody told me they did 7 minutes.
Aye.
Listen, maybe you've had a fucking shock.
It was earlier than that.
It's not.
Because he cramped up Clarkson.
Aye.
So he did.
I heard him saying class, but with the front two that, with the front two that,
A lot earlier.
I could see why he was doing that. Just to get energy.
Aye, but he didn't bring the strikers off and go, right, we're not bringing any strikers on, sit back. Mally Watkins, he's get good energy about him. you bring a bit of freshness. You're looking at the game, you're seeing Goldson going, is he going to last 90 because he's been out for a few months, he's not trained very much. Can they go and try and exploit? And it just didn't work like that. So when you make these decisions and they don't work, people then say, oh, why did you change? If you stay the same and you lose, people say you should have changed the game.
I had them on the counter.
Winning and losing makes all the difference.
Throwing everything at it, and they were vulnerable to the counter attacks. I think that as well. Because it was pace. They brought him. You're saying legs. It was pace.
So did they catch him on the counter attack now?
They didn't really, no.
No, they didn't.
They didn't.
No, they never.
But that's why you need to credit Rangers, because Goldson, as I keep saying it, he looked knackered. But he's running, making overlapping Tavernier down the right hand side, driving in, almost becoming another midfielder, making Aberdeen go, right, we need to sit back here.
So again, my question is, why do you think Goldson and Morelos, who's both says the fittest, can last 90 and these guys at Aberdeen can't?
I think that was just a decision of the manager.
But they don't say they were knackered.
Aye, but he's looking at them saying they're knackered. I'm sure if he'd have left them on, the players would have been able to get through it.
Yeah, man. It's actually a different game. Faddy's there watching the game. I'm watching it on telly. For me, Morelos, he could have played another 90 minutes the way he was going about his business.
All right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right.
We could have played.
We need a break, didn't we?
It's a must not lose.
We need a break.
It wasn't a must win, it was a must not lose, as you've said to Aberdeen. It wasn't a must win. It's a must not lose. Still don't think it's a must not lose. No, it's not either. Well, Celtic didn't lose.
Where's Lewis? They couldn't follow Lewis Irons.
But do you know what it was? No, what I'm thinking is
Make
because...
sure this question's good, please.
No. What I'm saying is because they've been beat the last two, they get beat. If you that's 3 in the bounds. You don't want to get beat 4 in a row.
Is that a question?
No, just a wee high to get myself like that. Celtic v Livingston, another dominant performance for Livingston, but for Celtic.
Oh my God!
For Celtic, but listen, 2-1.
Need a break, mate.
But it was... It's 2-1, but it was so one-sided.
How did Livingston dominate again? What did they dominate? That's brilliant, Livingston. How did they? I've never seen the game since Has Livingston just completely changed their style of play? To go to Celtic Park, fair
Good mate, they scored, wasn't it? The thing was, even in the first half, it was over the own goal. You know, they were under severe pressure.
The first half performance was so dominant. And then Livingston go up the park and score right after. You're thinking at 2-0, you're going, right, they get into half time, they're just going to turn the screw and they're going to get more than Livingston score at almost nothing. And it changed the game. It changed it to an extent where Celtic didn't come out as fluid in the second half. Livingston made a few changes and I'm going to say went for it, but offered a wee bit more in the second half. But
I was going to say, it's mad because Livingston being as well set up as they are, Celtic score the same goal every week, didn't they? Is it unstoppable? Bought the wide player in between the full-back cross.
They'll get in between at some point. You know yourself, you can have the best plan and you can get it, and if you're in your position, you go, you can't play that pass, and if you put a wee bit of disguise on it, you're thinking, right, I need to get there on his touch. I'm not going early, but I'm going to try and make sure I get there. As soon as the ball's on its way, I'm going to go and press it. And you're like ready for that. Oh no, it's inside. See when you're playing that position, there's very few worse feelings than that ball getting inside.
Inside the full back.
That's the worst.
It was an unbelievable pass.
The quality. You're saying the disguise, the way to pass, and then the wee fella, he's off, isn't he? Across the front post there.
It's like
just worked on it. You can just tell it's worked on. As soon as that's gone there, it's coming there.
They don't always play it. That's a problem you've got. So sometimes it'll be wrapped out to feet. So it's like when the boxers throw the jab in it. Throwing the jab, set you up with the jab to hit you with the right.
It's like it's what you said about Clint. It's where the space is. They go where the space is. So the fullback stops that pass. It goes out to the wide player. He puts it in there. Levy goes there, goes in between, and then it's coming in as well.
Aye. So if you go inside and go right, have it. You're 1v1. You're exposed. So you're trying to get in that position to go right. I can nick it. And if you play the pass, it was an unbelievable pass.
Aye.
You need to just go great pass, great cross, great finish. What a goal.
Is Jordan, did you see away? Is he going to be away?
You don't see the interview?
No. Did you see it?
Aye, man. He shouldn't have said all that. He's no way to come back now.
I've just seen it.
Have you seen it?
You never seen it, did you? No. He's saying that guy was strong defence, that he's gone, where they've had no bids. You've not seen it either, have you?
No, I've seen it. I've seen him talking about it. I said that, but surely he's going if they've signed a right back.
It's speculation, isn't there? But listen, when he comes back, he's been linked with Barcelona.
How do you think Ivanovic, Ralston and
Johnston. Johnston.
Have a wee bit more.
Johnston, he's good enough. But listen, that's what it's at Celtic, you fight for your places, don't you? Best player to play. So I don't mind 3 players at one
But
position.
Ivanovic has went and played left back quite a bit as
There
well,
you
hasn't
go, as well. And the big guy Bernaby's he's no lit up trees, is he?
You're right, you've worked yourself, I know.
Is that it?
No, wait, he's not what, sorry?
Lit up the street. What's that saying? What's that saying? So your actors could easily go out to left back and do well there as well. So listen.
No, I'm not. I've been worse. But, so do you think Ivanovic will still be at Celtic at the end of January?
It looks like he's going to be away.
Yeah.
I think with his performances in the World Cup, the teams that are mentioned, you would expect it. He'll be away.
What is he, 27, 28?
Aye.
That's what's going to stop you getting that 30, 35 in it. Because any team that buys him not going to get a resale value on him.
I think that'll be why. No, it'll be part of the reason why some of the teams will be interested, because like for a Scottish team to get 15, 20 million, it's incredible, but for these big teams to spend it, it's not a massive outlay for them. But no, I don't think it'll be massive money, but it'll still be good for a guy that you signed for 2 million a year and a half ago.
Brilliant, that.
Yeah.
What level do you think you could play? Do you think you could go to a top 4 English team?
Proved it, didn't he, in the World Cup?
Yeah.
I mean, his performances were... it's as if he was... Like, the way he plays with Celtic, like the way that they go, like, it's full on.
Aye.
That's what he looked different from all the other players, because as soon as he get possession of the ball, he was so direct. The pace he played it, the pace he played his passes, he looked on a different level.
Yeah, different at full speed,
didn't he? Aye. When
Running
they're all
forward,
kind of
defending, running with the ball.
And that's how he looked a level above.
You could tell for his debut he was going to be a player. Remember, I think he came in, he signed the day,
Rangers
he played
side,
Rangers the next day and he came in and absolutely strolled it, didn't he?
Left back, I'm sure he played as well. He did play that day,
As
didn't
I
he?
said earlier.
A good shout, that.
He lit up trees that first game, didn't he? Great to say that he did.
Rangers Celtic side.
No, what about the VAR?
Oh, aye. Aye, Faddy, I was talking to you about the VAR. Is it offside?
What do you think? I'll tell you the rules first, right?
No, you tell us the rules and we'll see.
He's offside and the ball's played, but I think it's Boys who goes to head it. For me, you were, when we done the VR meeting, you were told if the player was in control of his action, then it took away the fact that it was offside. And I think he's caught in two minds as the ball comes out. I think he can go and head it. I know he gets something on it, and maybe that'll be why the referees looked at it and went, he's not in control, he slipped or whatever, which takes the control out of it. But I think he can deal with it. And the way we were told was that it should have stood. The fact that he's been told to go to the monitor, how long it took, tells you that they weren't sure. So whoever's on the VRs went, I'm not really sure.
And what would they not been sure of? Whether he was in control,
whether it was a deliberate action to play the ball.
Would you think that?
No, but that clears it up for me, because I didn't know. I was
not. I never know either.
But I'm just looking as soon as the boys played.
Did you not get to that BBC meeting there?
Oh, I'm not that level. I'm like, off you go. But then I didn't know that. If you're in control of the situation, and they looked as if he lost his footing, didn't he? So it looked as if he just going to hit it. So I didn't know that.
So goal should stand.
Well, if you think he's tried to play it,
and he's
in a position to be in control of what happens next, then that's whether you decide whether it should be a goal. That's why it took so long. The two of them couldn't agree, and they've probably thought the easiest thing is to say it's not a goal.
Now we're on to what?
Rangers Celtic. We're not going to be here for a podcast, are we?
I'm not sure.
Don't think we are, mate. That's heartbreaking, isn't it?
Why don't you?
We should do a
one for your
special.
house. For your
Man,
house.
just me on it, I know.
You and Brian Figlow.
You're
Celebrity Celtic, Celebrity Rangers.
Tattoos to us, isn't he? He's the one I know.
So he does.
By the way, for me, that is a must-win for Rangers. There's where a must-win is. Agreed?
For Rangers to do what?
They need to win. To keep themselves in the league.
Aye.
Then they do it.
Not for the manager.
No, for the manager. Not at all.
Well, he's saying that Jim Beard.
No, of course.
Third in the league.
Of course it's a must win for him ever get any
There's never no
any
must win in
chance.
these games.
Aye, a win in the league. Of course it is. But no, it's an opportunity for, you know, what Bill's been saying, you know, we're talking about it earlier, the style of football and that, but sometimes just about winning. You know what, but it's like I'm saying we've played in them, but having played in them myself, doesn't matter. You just win that game. By the way, be hooker, be crook, by the way.
So what? So see when you say
hooker, be crook. Yeah.
So do you think he'll change how he's played the first two games because it's Celtic just to get a win?
No, I don't think he'll change. I think he'll still want to go and play that style of football. What are you on this saying, Ken?
My arse is shaking, mate. I actually feel, I'm not joking, I'm not trying to be funny here, right? I can feel, I don't know, my gooch trembling. I'm not trying to be funny, but see, I don't know if that's what it's called. It's
Just ask if Hibs v Hearts is a must win, please. Ask if Hibs v Hearts. It's fucking December.
Can we see your gooch? Just to clarify what your gooch is.
I don't know what's
It's a bit between your balls and your arse.
I don't know what the
You
feel.
might call it your bars.
I don't know what the feeling is. See, when I said that thing about good, when I felt this in here, just fucking to go like that. But it's not my arsehole, it's my in that bit. I can't get rid of the shake yet.
The shake, you got boxers on? Or is it just against raw denim?
Definitely can't.
You could do a couple of
We need
donuts
a
and all.
break. Hey, we need a break.
We need a break.
We've worked hard. We've worked hard.
Yeah, man.
Habs and Hearts. Habs
No,
Hearts.
well, sorry.
Sorry, that's a great point.
Do you think you'll change Derek now?
What's that?
Do you think you'll change how he's played the first
No,
two
he'll
games?
try and play that same kind of formation, same style, but
And do you think that's right, or he should change?
a wee bit aye, in terms of when you're going up against a Celtic side, you know, that come at you, you know, 100 mile an hour, you've got to be ready for that, you know, so you don't want to be open, you've got to be able to get up against them and, you know, and try and match them. But
Would you think he'll start putting pressure on them early or try and hit them on the break?
I think you'll try and hit them on the break a wee bit early doors, because you know what's coming with Celtic. You know, and as much as everybody knows, you still can't deal with them. So that's a big question mark. Will they be able to deal with that start? Because Celtic can blow you away. Right,
Game can be over.
He's capable of doing it. He plays with two up as well, which just gave Celtic quite a lot of trouble in the past.
Stay in the game.
Stay in the game, put your two up.
Stay in the game early doors, got up again. Even if it was my mindset, I'd go, alright, I'm not even caring if I'd get a touch of the ball for the first 20-25 minutes. I'm just going to get about people and match them and chase them and harry them, and you know, and until it settles down a wee bit. But that's again, the boys need that mentality. Some of them, I don't know if they got that in them. Some of them will want to be on the ball and shoulder rob, but you've got to be ready for that.
I know Gerrard was a big, sorry mate, but I know Gerrard was a big part of it. Bill was part of that coaching staff. They done that well under that regime away in Europe a lot, didn't they? Sitting, hitting the counter attack. So I think he is capable of coaching that sort of performance.
Good record against Celtic when Gerrard was a manager, but you can see the 4 goals in the last 2 games and all. So that needs to be sorted, because you can't be conceding the chances against Celtic that you have against Hibs, who aren't the great. They're struggling. And Aberdeen, who they obviously score a lot of goals, but I think if you play that open against Celtic, you're asked for trouble.
Can't wait to see how he words this next question.
So when you get to a certain point, you know, if Celtic come to you at a certain point, that wee trigger where everybody's got to go bum, 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 and you know, work hard to shut them, to stop them, you know, and then if you get your opportunity, can you
go in there?
Celtic be happy enough if they're going to play the 4-2-2-2. The fullbacks come in and play as midfielders. So you've got your 2 fullbacks and Callum McGregor. They'll go 2 for 2.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they'll comfortably deal with it, but they're happy enough to say, right, 2 for 2. We're still going to get the ball forward. We're going to squeeze the game. Then that's a challenge for Rangers. How do they get control of that midfield? How do they stop the passes that we're talking about? Or how do they stop the attack threat for Celtic? That has to be their mindset.
Rangers wide players do that off the ball. It's just a free pass to Celtic's wide players, isn't it, for the centre backs?
Aye, unless they put pressure on.
About your defenders defending 1v1 well.
Unless they put either a pressure on that, or say you start kind of out, block that pass, force it into the midfield, the fullbacks, and go and take it off from there. But to do that, you have to do it right. You need everybody fit. You need your forwards to be fit.
100%.
And
have that mentality. Know that you're going to be under that pressure. You know you're not going to have the ball, maybe. So just be ready for it.
See, that's the thing for managers as well. People, like you've just made a great point there. People say, well, your striker just Go and press them like that. But if your striker's not fit enough to do it, then there's no point in
can't
there.
do it,
So just play around you. And that as soon as that first press is brought, you're fucked.
Would you sit off Celtic then?
Maybe you need to look at your striker's fitness and think, we can't go and press them like that.
Aye.
So we'll need to sit off. These are the things that managers need to take into consideration. It's not as easy as just we're going to go and deal with that.
You're basically going man for man as well. You know, you're going to have your spare man's going to be a centre back.
And we know what happens when you try and go man for man. I tried to do it against the B team. Just fucking popped the ball in you.
Yeah, but if you've got your players on the fit, then that's what happens. You know what I mean?
So there's so many things you need to take into consideration. The fitness levels between the two teams.
Players need to come out to be sick and all that. Then you know that you're
Right, come on, Hibs play Hearts. 2nd of January, it's going to be an absolute cracker.
Here's one. That could be a must-win for Lee Johnson. And it might be. I think for that one, it might just
If
be.
you ask for this every week, then you'll get one right.
I think this one might just be now.
And I agree with you.
I think if I said do it in this game, that could be it.
He
And
needs,
it's
he needs a big
capable of
one.
that.
He needs something.
Yeah, I think so.
Aye. It's ready for a bit of minutes.
But do you think it's just a wee bit harsh maybe because you knew that McGeady's back, Nisbet's back, you need to give him a wee bit of time with it because that's
Also a good point.
key players in it. But
I just think the way Hibs are with the fans, with
The board,
You
they've
said
not
that
messed
board,
around
they had-
before,
no, exactly.
have they? They might just go, no, you've had your opportunity. See you.
they've been harsh with other
but then you need
managers.
to look at it and think, well, it's not worked in the past, it's just getting rid of people after 6 months. Maybe we do need to give him a wee bit longer.
Well, I think when you've hired a manager for, you've not just plucked a name out of thinking, well, you would like to think they've not just plucked a name out and says, right, he looks like a good candidate, we'll bring him in and see how he gets on. You have your interviews, you listen to what the manager's telling you. Obviously, you look at the evidence to see if he's bringing it, but you need to remember why you're hiring this manager. And the way they've done it previously, I think they've been too quick to get rid. I think they signed too many players every transfer window.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a clear idea of what the club is and what they want to be. So to go and change it again, you're going to have to bring somebody else in with his ideas. You're going to have to bring in more players again. It doesn't work. You're not going to get any sustained success, consistency by changing a manager, bringing in 10 players every transfer window. The squad's massive. I know you talk about McGeady and that coming back. The squad's too big as it is, so they need to get rid of some players. But
they need to win games.
That's it. They
need to win.
If they keep playing the way they're playing, getting results the way they are, then unfortunately that's the business.
Can you see anything other than a Hearts winning this game?
Oh, I fancy Hearts strongly.
I fancy Heart big time.
Yeah.
Hearts are in a better position. They've got a better squad, but it's a derby game, so you just never know. So the flip side, you don't look at that in isolation and say, if you do well in terms of performance, get a draw, win the game, everything's all right. Because it's a derby, they always lift their game. You see Hibs over the years, they've always done well. They've always been competitive. So they could win it, but Hearts are miles ahead of Hibs at the minute.
Do you ever feel like flatting on Sky?
You're giggly.
I don't think I was giggling.
You're googling.
Giant Boydie's gooch as if I've been shaking on Sky. You spoke to Big Charlie?
I spoke to him last night.
How's he saying? Is he enjoying it?
He is enjoying it, mate.
Has he?
Yes, he is. I think he's relishing in the role.
Has he swapped cups and salt and pepper for like a tactics board?
Remember that in that coffee shop? No, there wasn't much chat, it was just a general chat, wasn't it?
Life in that.
I know, for the players.
Remember that day?
Charlie, aye.
After what he was saying.
You were good, didn't you? Because you were questioning him, remember? He was doing that with him. He was flat with you that day.
His gooch was soaking, you could see it for his jeans.
By the way, their first game against Hearts this weekend, so important that they get have to win because they're bottom of the table.
I think it's must win.
Do you? Do you know how good that felt, you saying that there?
Are you expecting a big difference for them? To what you've seen in the last?
Well, they're going to need it.
Towards the end, yeah.
And
You've spoke to the coach. Are you expecting
that's horrible of me to do that. I would never do that. What I speak to him about, exactly. No, do I do? No, I couldn't do it.
No, but I think I've said that, like, Charlie's fit with knowledge and his passion and his...
But ultimately it comes out to the manager. But Charlie can do all he wants. He's looking at the manager, how they're playing,
Exactly. Jinky will be able to help him.
I think you'll help him. I know for a fact.
No,
He'll work hard. He'll work so hard. You'll look at games. You'll look to see where he thinks he can improve, how he thinks how they can improve it in the training pitch. But ultimately, he'll be doing it. Foxy whether he takes it on board.
Sometimes you want to say, he's a good experienced player. He's doing his coaching badges. He must know the game. And sometimes it's easy, but do you think he'll be able to go and really, because you need to be there to take the pressure off. You need to sometimes challenge the manager on his ideas. You need to reinforce the manager's opinion as well. Do you think that's...
I think he's ready for it, mate. Like I said, for the last year, me and him talked about coaching a lot, mate. So,
but you're right,
I think you're passionate about it and you work hard at it, and my opinion, I think he's good. The way he talks about the game and how he wants it played and how he wants it coached, I think he'll be a really good coach. I think he'll be good for Foxy.
The boys in the dressing room.
I know, but that's another good thing to have, mate, as a coach. He's got that balance.
I know, a great thing he's got about him. Would you want to play for him? Aye, absolutely. Wouldn't you?
Definitely.
Worrying though for Dundee United, isn't it?
What?
Where they find themselves in the league. What do they need to do different the second part of the season?
Win games.
Fun games.
But how do they do that?
Find a way.
Aye.
They've got to find a way.
How do they find that way?
They just need to dig in and somehow, but sometimes you stumble across.
Well, that day we were talking
information
with the moving the stuff, you had quite a few good ideas for Dundee United. What do you think they need to do?
I was about that day, man.
Again, would that be like saying, if I was to ask you what Dundee United's best 11 is and how they play, would you know?
No.
Again, they've got a lot of talented boys, haven't they?
I think they have mixed formations quite a bit, 3-4-3, 4-4-2, 3-5-2. Try to fit guys like maybe Fletch and Tony in the same team, maybe putting one out wide when I think they need to get their 11, how they want to play. This is how we're going to be for now at the end of the season. If we're going to go down, we're going to go down.
They should do. You know, they should find a formation and just stick to it, and this is the way we're going to go.
I get that as well.
You get yourself.
You're going to say if you're playing, there's no point in playing like that if you're going to play Livingston at home to Celtic away.
No. What I'm going to say is he's trying to find. You're asking, which is a brilliant question, by the way.
But 6 months you should be able to find that,
No, but they're trying to find consistency. So I know you're saying they're trying to fit players in here, there. If players were performing, picking the team in the formation is easy because they're playing well. But when your players are so up and down, then you're trying to find a way to change it. You're trying to find a way to get that win.
Get the best out of the players.
We're saying it and kind of as a throwaway, but if you win games, you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if you're not winning, and you don't change it. If you play 10 games in a row and you lose,
but also in that fact,
information to go, you need this.
But every time somebody has a couple of bad games, you can't just take him out of the team.
But it depends how the performance is, what the performance is. Bad game is what? No scoring, no taking a chance, maybe no beating the first man for a cross, no being perfect with your touch and playing forward passes a midfielder, or is it no putting enough into the performance? No having a chance to affect the game, no defending properly.
Yeah, I get what you're saying individually, but I'm saying do you find players find it harder to get a consistent run when you are changing 100%. The formation all the time?
Definitely. But look, he's trying to find a way. He's trying to find a way to win games. That's what he needs to do at the minute, and he's obviously struggling with that. But that's where I say this all the time. That's where your players look at the experience they've got in that team. They need to step up to that as well. Like you don't like changing formation, but when I played, I'd play left wing, up front, in the holes in number 10, right wing, left wing back. At times I wasn't happy, but I'd be happier playing out of position than not playing at all. And I would make sure that my energy and my commitment was the same. You try and affect the game.
But you knew what David Moyes wanted for every single one of the positions.
Of course you do. But he's a new manager. Yeah. Like he's a good reputation as a coach. I've said this many a time. A coach and a manager, it's not the same.
Tell us about it.
It's the art of management, isn't it? Getting people to buy into what you want them to do, even if they're not happy.
You're making a paper aeroplane there.
No. I can't believe I'll get through this.
3 points, and a win bonus, and everybody's happy.
What's the biggest win bonus you ever got?
Biggest win bonus? That would have been, would have been the League Cup final. 15 grand.
What's that?
You got 10 grand, I got 10. Well, I thought I got 10 grand for making my Celtic debut on the way home for Ross County. I'm like, oh, the boys, 10 grand, but it was your home debut you had to make.
Was it?
Didn't get a penny.
Fuck off.
No way.
Lenny didn't ever bring his own at home.
Wow. That is, no way. You're kidding on.
Swear? It was your home
How's that? That can't be a real.
Agent must have been a fucking...
Alan Ball.
Alan Ball, when I picked up my 10 grand, mate, that's what he's doing.
Used to be Wallace Mercer.
Who's that?
Wallace Mercer, a way back, aye.
Would he ever just come in and go, win bonus a day, lads?
Aye, he would do things like that. But he
Danny was the same.
Aye, we ran Rangers pretty close one season, right up to the last 5-6 games, and we made some good bonuses there. That was down to Wallace Mercer.
Who were we speaking to? Who went on the thing with your win bonus doubled? Was that you?
Aye, they done
told me that,
And then it went back after, was it 4 or 5 games?
Aye.
Back to scratch, and then it went again. And when you're winning games, you're earning a few bob.
What was your bonus this win?
But we weren't in a big,
500
we were in a low basic, wasn't it?
Maybe 250, maybe
You know, it was all
250 plus
yeah,
71.
Yeah, it's all about winning games. You know, so it's different this day and age, isn't it? Guys are on unbelievable.
Somebody's staying quiet.
I'm scared to ask him.
Well, he's getting about buying everybody
Chippy's
It was him. He was in there going, I'll get it. I'm like, what do you want?
Do you get a bonus on here?
No. We had one somewhat at Birmingham, I think, with you won a game at doubles.
That was you. You were telling us on Sunday.
When it doubles, and then we went on a 15-game unbeaten run. It was absolutely brilliant.
Club must have been devastated.
Mate, that's why they were in admin and that.
They saved 2 years of my contract, mate. They were all right. But I remember at Motherwell when we got to the semis, the Scottish Cup, when I was young, it was like, who did we play? We played Clyde, Stranraer, in the Cup. I think it was like £4 to beat Stranraer, $7.5 grand to get into the the semi. But it was £4 to beat one of the teams in the quarters. At Motherwell at that time, you're like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. Can't wait for the cup run next year. Pumped out in the first.
Boys, it's been a pleasure. You'll never see us on here again.
We're still doing the cooting.
I think we shouldn't.
You should just ask each other. You should ask each other. On you go.
Can only apologise, lads.
Why don't you stay the cooking this week?
We're not allowed to know to bet.
You're not.
No. You're not betting though.
Well, no, this coupon gets put on.
Aye, but you're not betting.
I know, but it's influencing it.
We're influencers, bro. We're not presenting, we're influencers, bro.
Vloggers and influencers, aren't we?
Right, come on, I'll ask Faddy. I'm going to give you Motherwell, Kelly. He never backs against them.
But I think they're going to win.
Right, okay. I'm going to give you Hibs v Livingston. Wow.
I'm going to go for Livingston.
Don't think that's a bad shout at all, that.
Oh,
You took a lot for only being beaten 2-1.
wow. Whoa. Right, okay. I'll try and pick another hard one. Sorry, I'll go with St Mirren Aberdeen.
I'm excited.
I'll go for a draw.
Who's that better for?
I think it's fine for both teams.
Alright, and lastly, I'm going to go Ross County at home to Rangers.
No, I'm going to go for Hearts. I'm going to go for a draw.
Oh!
I'm going to go for a draw. I think Ross County are. It's been a long week for Rangers. It's going to be the third game in a week. I know their performances should get better, but they're still trying to get players back fit. I'm going to go for a draw.
Right, Derek. St Mirren
Is that
Aberdeen.
an unbelievable shout to say that you think Ross County will get a draw at home? They're a tough team to play against. Tough team to play against.
Alright.
Right, Dale. You ready, mate?
Yes.
St Mirren Aberdeen.
Draw.
Oof. Dundee United Hearts. Tensions, I can feel it in the room now, can you?
Hearts. The Jambos.
What do you think,
Yes.
score-wise? You don't mind me
I
asking?
think it could be 3-0, 3-1. Aye.
This is the longest podcast.
I know, mate, fuck's sake.
Motherwell
What
Kilmarnock.
is this? Is this Christmas Eve?
Motherwell Kilmarnock.
Well, come on, I'm going to go draw.
Are you?
Aye. Yep. Dale needs to get something.
Unbelievable.
Aye.
And
needs to
this-
get something.
That's a wee dig at you.
That's as big a shout as me saying Ross County.
See if you'd have said Rangers, he'd have picked Motherwell.
You probably doing that game, I know. You better hide. You get any first pass.
What game will go at the end? Ross County Rangers or Hibs Livingston?
Yeah, we know he's going to like Rangers, so there's no point asking Hibs Livingston.
Livingston. I'm going to take Livingston. I think Hibs are under severe at the minute. Sorry out. He's in a sugar lane help.
Oh,
Boys, Jonathan Sunderland and Lewis Irons will be asking you questions next after the break.
Can you just crack them open and drink them?
Mate,
How warm is it in there?
Stop getting your cans away for free.
I want them to drink it.
It's like a hot toddy.
Can you?
How many cans
Can you
give
taste
away?
that and tell me what you think, Faddy?
That's been sitting on his gooch.
I know.
I'm not drinking that. Look at that.
Can start, hold on.
Have you bought? I was going to ask you this while I was at dinner. Have you bought your Christmas presents?
I'm not getting any.
I need to go and get.
Picks them up now.
Is that bogging that front, mate? That tap, mate? Aye.
Just
the fluff in there.
Your duty, mate.
What are you getting, Carol, Derek? Is it a surprise or does she know, or can you not say on the camera?
She'll get, well, I get her now. Boots. Get her boots. Pair of Puma King.
Pair of Puma
Nice,
King.
and actually, Faddy, see we have a wee bit of ice sitting off freezing cold. That's in the pocket for 2 years, so he's not going to be.
Isn't it? And it does say self-chilled.
The wild bomb.
Why don't you sing it out a wild time?
I can't, honestly, I can't believe I've managed to get through this show. I'm just so happy I'm at the end of it, honestly.
He's wild.
Can you give me Frank Sinatra? You've done it on the stage the other day. I like the husky voice.
But my chest is, I'm really
husky voice, I like your husky voice.
I would love to do it.
Maybe do a wee bit of Barry White then.
I'm really struggling at the moment.
Have you Christmas song for us, Del?
You should be an impersonation.
How good was that live show when they sang Fairy Tale? I was going to get it.
I seen you like it.
We're all the impersonations.
Fairy Tale New York at the end of Sunday.
I had no mic, it was brilliant.
Oh, did you?
You sang it amazing.
I gave him
That's because he was doing that with the 2 minutes.
I done a different version.
That was genius, that, by the way.
Boys, have a good Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. No, the fans as well. You're going to say the fans. The fans.
And he's wanting the Christmas money in for the families that coach him.
Your next
wants
one's
it Christmas
a must
Eve.
win, mate. Your next podcast
Next podcast, I must win.